Okay, I'm here with Chris Buescher, driver of the number 17 Ford Mustang for Roush Fenway Racing. Chris, how you doing? Must be a busy day over there at Daytona.
Definitely a busy day, but it's going well. So we're knocking through our punch list, talking to anybody and everybody, trying to make sure that we really capture the buzz around the 2020 Daytona 500, and really make sure that get to tell everybody that we're happy with our fast and all Ford Mustang. We're ready to get into the race and get into that draft and go see what we can do.
Great. Well, my first question, my boss always says, I like Chris Buescher. He seems like one of the more normal, relatable guys in NASCAR. Do you agree with that? Or are you really one of the good guys, or is there something else we should know about you?
I'd like to think so. I feel like I'm somewhat normal. It's I don't know. I tell everybody I'm just a redneck that gets to go in circles for a living, so it seems about right. I've enjoyed racing since I was a kid. My dad was a hot rod guy. He was always building or working on something, buying, selling stuff growing up, and so just kind of got an addiction to cars, to engines, speed, all the likes. So just kind of a crazy stepping ladder I took to get here. Along the years, started off in motorcycles, ran motocross for a little bit, and felt like four wheels and a roll cage was a little bit safer. Turns out I'm better at it anyway, so probably a good call. And now get to look back on that. That was almost 20 years ago when I got off my motorcycle, and we get to be here for my fifth running of the Daytona 500. So pretty rapid change, but at the same time, it's one of the older guys out here now. So I'm getting on up there. I got called a veteran earlier, so
wow.
that one almost hurt.
Well, we're all very jealous. But so obviously you're back at Roush after being with JTG Doherty. Just in general, how is the transition going for you?
About as smooth as you could ask it to, really. It's easier because I've got my development deal with Roush Fenway 11 years ago, and so I was there for a long period of time. We won races and championships together, made a lot of friends within the shop, worked in the shop in a couple different departments, so I have a pretty good understanding of the organization. And so after a couple years running for Front Row Motorsports and JTG Doherty Racing, coming back over has been probably easier than any of the moves I've made in the past, just because at least half the people. There's a lot of new people in, and some stuff's changed and a lot stayed the same, but a really neat positive outlook on everything, really good attitudes throughout the entire shop, a lot of excitement for this season, and everybody seems really upbeat about the opportunities that we have ahead of us. So that's all made it a lot easier to come in, try and get in a rhythm, and get the season going. It's hard without testing and without the opportunity to get on track with new people, with Luke Lambert being new crew chief for me, without being able to go to a track and get all of that communication stuff worked out. It will make the Daytona 500 one that we have to have a very steep learning curve with everybody. But as long as we can get through that and have ourselves a good weekend, or regardless really, but we're going to have a good year, and we just got to work on building those relationships and those friendships, and put together some solid finishes and go have a great year.
Well, you sort of just touched upon this, but Ryan had a strong season last year, and now with you back in the fold, it seems like Roush is taking a step toward getting back to where it once was. Are you excited to be a part of that? And just like you said, in general, what's the vibe like in the garage?
Yeah, so for the Six to go make the playoffs last season was a big step for Roush Fenway Racing, for them to start really turning it around, and to be honest about it, after a couple of years of not being where we wanted to be, being able to get it heading back in the right direction and on that rise through the last year and a half, I'd say, is what I've been able to see from the outside looking in. And to be coming in at the right time and to help build on that momentum, it definitely makes you feel like you can elevate yourself and you can elevate the entire program. So taking a lot of notes from what Ryan and the 6 team did last season. Look at it as a way to try and focus our season on making sure we capitalize each and every week. You can never give up. You got to work hard from lap 1 to wherever you're at, lap 250 or lap 500. It doesn't matter. You have to go all the way to the end of the race without any quitting anybody to be able to put that kind of season together and make sure we make the playoffs. Now obviously the easiest way to do it, not the easiest, but the more simple way is to go win a race and lock yourself in right there. So that's the goal. Hopefully this Sunday we can just go ahead and get that out of the way and grab a trophy early on in the season and enable us to take some opportunities, take some chances to capitalize on some opportunities to go get some more.
Well, on to Daytona. You've placed top 5 at Daytona twice. Ryan has won. He did well in super speedways last season. Roush always seems to do well in these kind of races. What's the confidence level entering the Daytona 500? Do you guys think you're poised for a big day?
I think the opportunity is there. It's hard to really predict these races. There's so many things that have to go right, but there are a lot of good things about the Roush Fenway Speedway program, and there's good speed in the cars. They drive well, and they suck up really well in the draft. So it's really everything you need to be able to be aggressive and be able to capitalize on a great weekend, and be able to use the speed in the right manners to be able to put yourself in the right spots, so you can hopefully stay out of the trouble in the big one and the big one after that. Try and make sure that we keep our race car as clean as possible all the way till the end. And we know that we have the speed that we could go turn this into a fantastic weekend and really start our season off right. So, yeah, there's definitely a ton of confidence when you look at how much speed the RFR cars have had at this style of racing for many years now.
Just a couple more. How excited do you still get for the Daytona 500? Have you at all become desensitized to it, or does it still carry that same weight?
For me, it's probably a little bit different. Like it's a huge weekend. It's a great way to start our season. There's so much buzz down here, and there's so many people that come out and enjoy this weekend with us. Definitely want to win, and you want to win everywhere, but this one would be a bigger one. For me, it has kind of calmed down a little bit, and on a more personal level, I've probably have 2 or 3 tracks that to me would mean a lot more for me to win. Now you want to win everywhere, and this one would be huge, but I look at a Bristol or Darlington or a home track win out in Texas as places that would probably rank higher than a Daytona 500 win. But it is a huge weekend. Definitely excited to get down here all the time, and it creates some pretty wild racing to really start our season off and get everybody excited.
Okay, last one. Ryan has said he's in favor of NASCAR doing a dirt race. There's been talk about hybrid electric engines in NASCAR. What kind of interesting changes are you interested in seeing, or do you think the sport should stick to its roots? Just what kind of this stuff sort of piques your interest?
Dirt racing would be awesome. I'm a fan. I didn't grow up on dirt. I've done very limited dirt racing in my career. But in the ARCA series, growing up and racing that for 4 years, I think I ran 4 dirt races with them. They go to 1 mile flat dirt tracks, and I had a ball. Enjoyed them every moment. We were able to win one of them. They're just different, and I like different. I like road racing. Again, it's not something I have any background in. It's just I enjoy breaking up our schedule from time to time. I don't want to go run 30 road races a year, just like I wouldn't want to go run 30 dirt races, but just a little bit of uniqueness in our schedule and something just to change it up. I like that, and I'm definitely a fan of trying to create something a little bit new or fresh. Even if it's going back to just older short tracks, anything along those lines, to me, would definitely help and pique my interest.
Great. Well, hey, Chris, I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me, and good luck this weekend, and we'll all be watching, of course.